Hello, I'm Tommy Dudley. I'm the prospective councillor, local councillor for Headland Harbour Water local elections on the 2nd of May. Please come out and vote. Even if you don't vote for me, come out and vote. Turnout's terrible. These are the flyers that I've been putting out. I've been standing on the stump by and large. No logo. I'm a man with no logo, no frills, bargain basement. But I say it as it is. And I want to talk about the betrayal because this is the first time that the country's had a vote since the 29th of March wasn't implemented. Brexit wasn't implemented when they said they was going to do it. And the thing is, we was told by these handouts that the referendum, the EU referendum on the 23rd of June 2016, nothing in this document, you come and have a look at it, or you get one, download it, have a look at it. Nowhere does it say there's a limitation clause. And this is the limitation clause. It says that it's advisory. Now, they all knew that because they're all lawyers and MPs are lawyers, Queen's Counsel. Very many of them are legal, and they knew that. And when they voted for the referendum, overwhelmingly, they knew that they didn't have to implement it. We was led down the garden path. That's definite betrayal. The idea that a binary in and out vote with a majority of 1.4 million is in some way close when it's 1.4 million is bigger than the population of Birmingham. So, I mean, that was decisive, and they've not implemented that. And they even, in the June elections of 2017, when they reiterated the fact they was going to honour the referendum result, both main parties, but 80% of the vote, they did not. They've actually backtracked, and they're talking about customs union alignment and being in single market and all sorts of stuff. And the fact that we've got to pay £39 billion just for the provision of talks about future agreements, and we've got to stay in a backstop, we've got to get their permission to leave. I mean, a withdrawal agreement is worse, it's the worst of all worlds. It's terrible. So the fact is that there's none of them worth following because none of them are leading, and none of them would pass muster in any leadership contest at the moment. All of the main political parties have told lies, all of them. They've all lied to us, or they don't want to honour the referendum. So they've betrayed us. They've countermanded the will of the people. So that's the first thing. Right, now let's get down to local issues. Right, we've basically, all of us have been put on austerity by the Conservative government, the coalition. But the austerity is because they had to bail the banks out. £5 billion. Now, the national debt, there's a UK national debt clock. There's a UK national debt clock that says that we owe over £2 trillion in debt. It's £5,000 a second. Now, we bailed the banks out, the dodgy bankers, none of them, chief executive, chairman, none of them have gone to prison. They caused it. It wasn't me or a single mum in Hartlepool that caused the financial crisis. It was them. In fact, greedy councils they got caught out and they got captured when they was trying to nick a few quid by investing in Icelandic banks. They all went bust and they lost an awful lot of money, but that was our money. Yeah, they think it was greed and avarice, and that's why we're in the problems. In fact, councils are selling hundreds of £1 million off of our land to offshore companies with offshore accounts and trading, all sorts of nonsense. It's our land. Now, I want to talk about land because we pay a single payment subsidy to people with 5 hectares or more. That's 12.5 acres. You get a fortune. Massive, massive landowners are paid billions by us, all of us, for just having land. One or two silly little caveats about what they've got to do, but it's basically we're just giving billionaires and millionaires and lots of people with land lots of money, when we're picking up a £5,000 interest a second for the debt that they caused. And we're losing services in our local areas because of it. So you can't just say, oh, it's a local issue. No, it's not. These are national issues and we've got to do something about it. Now, I couldn't give a monkeys about people making a lot of money or having land and all the rest of it. But I do care when we lose our A&E and we lose our police force and we lose our magistrate. Now, we've got a magistrates court, which are justice of the peace. We've had that since Elizabeth I, the Tudors. And we lost that 2 years ago. So are we surprised when we see the crime rate going through the roof? Look at this. If you can see that, obviously it's a pie chart. On the blue segment of that is unresolved crime. Now that's not I don't own that. The Cleveland Police and the PCC owns that. Now, them figures are disgraceful, particularly when we have to shut our custody suite. It's 10 bobbies looking at 92,000 people, and we're paying all that money. See, when people talk about taxes, they say, well, yeah, but the richest 1% pay 25% or 29% of all income tax. They do. Jacob Rees-Mogg, he's right. They do that. But income tax is a fraction of the overall tax take. Now, this is the UK government list of the UK government taxes. It's easier to find things that we don't. It's harder to find things that we don't pay tax on. Pretty much all of us pay tax on almost everything. So all of the taxes are raised by all of the people, and yet just a few of the people own most of the land. Just 0.6, if memory serves me correctly, 0.6 of the population own 69% of the land mass in the UK. And we pay a lot of these people all that money, and guess what? Some of these people were billionaires, and they don't pay no tax on their inheritance because they put it into a trust. They pass it down to the people that follow them. So they got all this money, no charge. And we're paying them all that money for land, and we're picking up the tab, we're picking up the bill. Now, I don't want to do that when I'm losing my A&E, when I've lost the magistrates court, the one we've had since the Tudors, and we've got 10 bobbies in a closed custody suite at Hartlepool, when they're living in a gated community, when we're paying £5,000 a week to protect Tony Blair, £250,000 a year to protect Tony Blair. If he was so popular, why does he need all that protection? When he's also got his personal wealth worth millions, owns multiple houses, and yet we're picking up the tab. The MP here, Peter Mandelson, is a multi-millionaire, massive portfolios of land. He came here as a columner. He's now the Baron, Lord of the Manor, Baron Mandelson. And what's he done for this? He was here 12 years. What's he actually done for this place, Hartlepool? There's statues of great people like Ralph Waldo Jackson who actually built and put sewage in, docks in, railways. And there's massive statues of people that are giant like Ralph and Sir William Grey and people like that. You know, all that Peter Mandelson has done is line his own pockets. It's parasite. And the same with Blair. I mean, these people are so out of touch. I remember when he was talking about antisocial behaviour, he was talking about taking kids to cash points. I mean, that's how out of touch the man is. But these people, now, Tony Blair once said that he wants to wean people off of welfare. Well, a lot of people want to wean people off of welfare by getting decent jobs, getting properly educated. But I tell you what, how about starting by weaning the rich off of welfare? Stop us paying billionaires, single payment subsidies because of the land they've got. How about starting there first, Tony? And by the way, Ali Abbas, the little recce boy, lost his arms, and you won't apologise for. The worst thing you think you did when you was in power was the Freedom of Information Act. Don't talk about that man who lost his whole family, both his arms, because of your coalition with the Americans bombing Iraq, and the fact that you don't think you did anything wrong and you wouldn't apologise for removing Saddam Hussein. Well, Ali Abbas says once you got rid of that Saddam Hussein, you left him with hundreds of Saddam Husseins. And in my opinion, a war criminal, absolute war criminal. That was manufactured. He was always going to do it. The email Chilcot, the Chilcot inquiry don't cover you in any glory, that's for sure. That's why you need all these bodyguards. Right, so if you're going to vote, by the way, if you vote for me, like I say, I'll beat a path. First thing I'll do is beat a path to the PCC, and I'll make sure I attend their meetings, and I will shout my head off and use my one vote to complain about these massive hikes and the performance that Cleveland Police has given us. And I'll also take those arguments to Poland. Now, there'd be about 36 of us councillors, and we've all got to vote, and we can all talk about the amount of money that the councillors get. Some of them get paid more than the Prime Minister, and I don't understand what that's all about. I don't hold with all this. Oh, it's peer group pay rates from CEOs. Now let them put them on. If we have to pay the best wages to get the best, well, let them prove it. Where's the evidence of that? Put them on performance-related pay. and see how that works. But I don't see how it's harder to run Hartlepool than the country. Right, so if you want, please vote. Even if you don't vote for me, but for goodness sake, don't vote for any of that rubbish that's in there at the moment. They've really, if they're not going to represent us and if they're not working for us, then who are they actually working for? Ask yourself that. And as I say, let the people the councillors that are in there at the moment, let them argue about the hike in the allowances, and let them argue about why they never beat a path to the PCC's meetings and left it for a year not attending them. Let them argue about that. And let them explain why we're paying so much money in crime, whilst we're giving these rich people so much money for having so much land and paying for protection for MPs and that have got personal fortunes. Also, MPs getting paid absolute king's ransom, £80,000 from April 1st. £80,000 plus £9,000 for stationery. They get all sorts of allowances. If they get deselected, they get half their money. And massive big parachute payments. They get copper bottle pensions, massive amounts of money paid into pension plans. And they've got the audacity to put people, the poorest people, on a 1% cap. 1% of 70 quid job seekers allowance, 70p, small loaf of bread. And yet 1% of our MP, Mike Hill, is £800. Buys a lot of bread, doesn't it, Mike? And I'll tell you what we're getting for it. I don't think I've ever seen you standing up and shouting, saying anything about Hartlepool. You leave a very soft footprint, and the people before you, we've lost A&Es and justice, magistrates' courts, and as I say, what is it you boys do for us? You certainly do a lot for yourselves, and it's about time people started. We had a reset, actually a big write down of all our debts. Let the bankers do the write down. They caused it. Let them write it all down. The Jews do a thing called, or if memory serves me correctly, I've read somewhere there's a thing called a jubilee where they wipe everybody's debt out every 50 years. Well, we don't have to do it every. Why just have a one-off write down of debt from the banks? They can afford it. Let them write it down. They caused it, and let's take the country and the rest of the world out of this poverty and this debt, so we can have a reset. I mean, that sounds very, very sensible. As I say, you can't get blood out of a stone on an hour trying it. And the idea that some of the laws on £300 a day subsistence and all the other bits and pieces they get, and they're talking about pulling bus passes and stopping the winter fuel payments for pensioners. I mean, where do they get these people from? Are they under some sort of pond life up there? I mean, they're certainly not voted in, are they? Anyway, I've gone on enough. God bless you. Please vote on the 2nd of May. That is the real referendum. Kick this lot where it really hurts, in the ballot box. God bless you.